God, what the hell am I?
No, we'll start that one from scratch. On this video, we'll give you sneaky sleepers that you can add to your fantasy football roster when you draft after you filled out your starting lineup. I'm Alan Seslowsky here with RotoWire co-founder Jeff Erickson. Jeff, let's start with the running back position.
So anybody after 50 among running backs, after 60 among wide receivers, after 15 for tight end and quarterbacks, after you filled your starting lineup, after like the 10th round, basically. My running back is DAMIEN Williams on the Chicago Bears. This is a guy that's demonstrated he can be a 3-down back if requested to do so. Missed last year as an opt-out. Tariq Cohen is not all the way back yet, folks. If anything happens to David Montgomery, it's going to be Williams that's going to be the guy. And even when Cohen comes back, I don't see Cohen as being an every down back. So I think Williams is the guy you want to kind of go after and target. Doesn't have to, even if you don't have David Montgomery, go get somebody else's handcuff. Go get DAMIEN Williams.
Jeff, who's your wide receiver that you think has a lot of upside that should be drafted maybe aggressively?
Terrace Marshall, rookie for the Carolina Panthers. I like the Panthers offense. I like Joe Brady as a coordinator. I like Matt Rule as a head coach. He's going to be behind DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. We know that. But he's a higher priority than David Moore, the free agent they signed out of Seattle. I think Marshall is going to be a guy that's going to be on the rise. We're looking at guys that next year, is he going to be a guy I draft as a starter? I think I will. And he's outside the top 60 in ADP, probably rising. I would acknowledge that. But this isn't the last week that ADP I'm using. I like him. Go ahead and go get him.
A lot of fantasy drafters don't like to go early on tight end because they like to get the running backs and the wide receivers. If you're waiting on tight end, who's somebody that could end up being an every week starter for you?
I like Jared Cook. He's the opposite of Terrace Marshall in that he's not upcoming. He's not, buzzy guy. He is a veteran on a new team. He's with the Chargers. Hunter Henry is now in New England, so there's an opening there. The Chargers also improved their offensive line. Rashawn Slater, is the left tackle from Northwestern. They signed 2 veterans to bolster that offensive line, meaning I think this is going to be a high-functioning passing offense. And I think that you look at Jared Cook as a guy that he fills in nicely in a bye week, fills in nicely if you waited on tight ends. You want to kind of mix and match with your lineups. And he could emerge as an every week guy if this Chargers offense is high-functioning.
For our super sleeper quarterback, give me someone that might be more relevant in a super flex format, somebody that may not even get drafted in a single quarterback league that I could plug in and has a chance to be a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, first of all, here's a plea for you. Try doing a super flex league. It does the one thing that fantasy football does wrong. It values the quarterback properly. If it's the most important position in football, it should be way more important than it is in fantasy football right now. Baker Mayfield never gets drafted in single quarterback leagues, but I do draft him a lot. He's a high floor guy, I think, in a super flex league. Everybody expects the Browns to be a good football team this year. They should be a pretty decent offense. They may not be a high volume passing offense just because they're going to run the ball a lot. They have a great offensive line, but that great offensive line also protects Mayfield. As you and I were talking off stage beforehand, he was a top 5 quarterback down the stretch. He can be a very effective quarterback, perhaps high volume if they get in a shootout. They play the Chiefs in week 1 for crying out loud. That should be a lot of fun. Go get Baker Mayfield in a super flex league.
If you want to see RotoWire's fantasy football rankings for free, you can so for 10 days. Just go to rotowire.com/try. See RotoWire fantasy football rankings for free. Go to rotowire.com/try.